Am I in focus? Whatever. Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to dive into another video revolving around the Nike Run Club app. For some of you guys that might be new to running, today I'm going to show you how to track the shoes you wear and the miles that you're putting on those shoes. And we'll dive a little bit more into why that's important to track your mileage on your shoes. So let's go ahead and dive right into it. Alright guys, so before we dive into this video, don't forget to hit the subscribe button if you haven't yet, and go ahead and give a thumbs up on this video. My goal is to hit at least 100 likes. So the whole purpose of this video is just to track the shoes that you're wearing when it comes to the amount of miles you put on it. In terms of safety for you as a runner, it's important to know how many miles you're putting on your shoe. The reason being is most shoes have what they call a tread life, to where you don't really want to go above and beyond when it comes to running. I know for a lot of us, maybe we have shoes that we've worn forever. When it comes to everyday wear, that might be okay. But for some of you that are starting to get into running, you have to understand that you do not want to follow those same practices. It's important to know around every 300 to 500 miles that you put on a shoe, it's time to retire it and get a new shoe. The reason being is, in the long run, this is going to help you when it comes to preventing injuries and ensuring that your feet and your legs, that you're doing everything you can to keep yourself protected in terms of progressing in your running journey. So what I want us to do today is we're going to dive into the Nike Run Club app. I'm going to throw it here up on the screen, and we're going to show you how exactly you log your miles on your shoes. All right, now that we got our Run Club app pulled up, there's two different ways you can access your shoes. I'm going to show you both ways. The first way is going to be right here on the main screen, right above the start button. You can see I have two different icons. One looks like a shoe and one looks like a treadmill. So we're going to go ahead and click on the shoe button, the one on the left, and it's going to give me a quick snapshot of the shoes that I have that I can choose from. So with that being said, I can rifle through my shoes and see what's going on. And then at the very end, you can see I have a button that says add shoes. But before we do that, if we go to the very bottom, you'll see view all shoes. It's going to pull up another screen, and it's going to give you a more in-depth detail where I can click on items to see what's going on within those shoes. So as you can see, I have a lot of different shoes plugged in, and I have a lot of different retired shoes. Retired shoes are shoes that, one, I hit my max mileage and I don't want to run in them anymore. So what that means is I've probably transitioned them to everyday walking shoes, or if I need to run to the store or do errands, I'll probably wear those shoes now, versus shoes that I have specifically for running that I want to dedicate to running so I can be sure I have the appropriate mileage on it. So with that being said, I'm going to click on the first one. This is a Pegasus 37. You can see here it's going to give me details. How many runs did I do? What's my average pace in these shoes? And the time that I've put into these shoes. And then you can see right here, I do have a button that says retire the shoes. So for example, if I don't run in them anymore, or I've hit my max miles, you can see on this one, I have 68 miles logged, and right below it, you'll see the little green line. It says 232 miles to go. So you can see I have set a max mileage for 300 miles in these shoes, and that's the mark I'm gonna hit to retire the shoe and move on to a different one. I have the three little buttons here at the top. You can see where it allows me to edit shoes or remove the shoe. So if I click edit, it's going to let me rename it. So for example, I named it Peg, but I can rename it to Pegasus 37. It does have the color. So for example, it's going to pull up, because this is a Nike Run Club app and because it is a Nike shoe, it's going to have all the colorways of these different shoes. So for me, I do have the appropriate one selected. And then you can see I can also change the distance required for this shoe to retire. So for me, I'm going to go ahead and leave that at 300. And I'm going to go ahead and save the shoe. So now it's just updated with the name. And it's still 300 miles to go. So you can see it still says Pegasus 37 at the top there. Now for some of you, if it's your first time using the app and you want to upload your shoes, It's real simple. The top right button, you'll see the plus sign. Go ahead and click on that. And even though this is a Nike Run Club app, it does have other brands of shoes. Not everybody likes to run in Nike shoes. The whole thing with running is find shoes that work best for your foot. So it's important to know that there might be other brands out there that are a better fit for your feet, and it's important to stick with those. So for example, for me, I'm just going to add another Nike shoe. One of the more popular ones is the Nike Alpha Fly that's out right now. So instead of rifling through, I'm going to go ahead and type in Alpha Fly. So I'm going to go backwards a little bit because I saw more options. Air Zoom Alpha Fly Next Percent. I'm going to go ahead and click on that shoe. I'm going to name it Test just for this YouTube video. Now you can see here it does have the different colors. So I'm going to go ahead and select this one up here. Distance required, you can see you can go all the way up to 600 miles. So some shoes are going to wear different than others. So it's important to pick a mileage that you think is going to be feasible, but also understanding that you may wear the tread down a lot faster than you expected, or potentially they're lasting a lot longer than you expected, and then you can adjust as you see fit. So I'm going to stick with 400 miles for this one. I'm going to go ahead and push save. And let's see here. Because it's named Test, I'm going to see it here at the bottom. So you see the test has no miles on it, and it's just waiting to be done. So now I'm going to go ahead and push the X at the top. And another way to track your shoes or to add your shoes is you'll see up the top left, you'll see a little icon button with whatever your avatar is. I'm going to go ahead and click that. And then this first option over here on the left is going to say My Shoes. And this is another way that it's going to actually take you to those shoes that you have or the shoes that you would like to add. And then you'll notice we're at the same screen again. So I am going to go back to the main home page when we start up a run. Now it's important to know to track your shoes appropriately. You want to make sure when you start your run, you're selecting the right shoe. So for example, I'm going to click on the little shoe icon again. I'm going to scroll over to the test one, and I'm actually going to select that. So now I see my shoe logo right here has changed. And now this next run is going to be added to this shoe specifically. So this is how you can rotate very easy through the shoes that you're using. And whenever you go out for a run, it's just a quick switch of this to ensure that you're adding the mileage to the correct shoe. Now, for example, if you forget to change your shoe before your run on the app, don't worry, there are other options. So if I go down to the very bottom, I'll see the little run guide. If I click to the left, the little chart, I'm going to see the different runs that I have. And all I can do is I can click on this right here. I've opened the run. I can see that I ran in the Pegasus 37, or that's the shoe that was tracked for this mileage. But for example, maybe I wore my Nike Infinity runs. You can click change shoe. You can click the right shoe and it's going to switch and it's going to add the miles to that shoe specifically. Now I did run in the Pegasus 37, so I want to add it back to that. And that's that. So now I have the appropriate shoe attached to the correct run so that I can ensure that my miles are appropriately tracked with that shoe. You'll notice for me that I do have multiple shoes, so I do not always run in the same exact shoe until I have to retire it. I like to rotate through my shoes just so I can get longer life out of them, and I'm slowly putting miles on multiple different shoes so that they can all last a little bit longer. So if you haven't subscribed yet to the channel, please do so. Again, leave a comment below. I'd love to hear from you. And until next time, YouTube, peace.